Well, there's been a service, a commemoration here in Grosvenor Square in the park behind me. Some of the relatives and the families of the 67 British people who died in New York were here, and some of them are still here. So there was quite a sombre service here, about 150 people and some dignitaries invited here, because on the other side of this square for a very long time was the American Embassy in London before it moved a few years ago. So there has been this commemoration. There's also been an event in the Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park in the East End of London on the other side of the city, and also an event in Windsor. These have been pretty low-key, really, and this event was organised by the September the 11th Family Support Group of the relatives, and it's a private affair. That's why the park was closed. Now, as you can hear with the traffic, it's all opened up again, and I think it's worth just quoting what Boris Johnson as Prime Minister recorded in a message when he said that, in a way, that the terrorist attacks have failed to drive nations apart. And of course, he's keen to emphasise the unity in terms of feeling here in the UK with the United States. And there was a message also to President Joe Biden from the Queen. And she said that it's important to remember that people from many nations and faiths and backgrounds lost their lives, of course, including the 67 people here from Britain.
And Iolo, the UK responded quickly after 9/11. What ended up changing?
It did. There was almost a political change of direction from Tony Blair, the Prime Minister at the time, when he became so closely aligned with a conservative, right-wing, centre-right government of George W. Bush in America. That led, of course, to strong support immediately in terms of the Afghan war, also the Iraqi war, which was far more divisive and less well supported in Britain and in Europe. And also it led to quite a lot of changes in Britain as well, in terms of a whole list of 10 or 11 laws to do with terrorism, and many of them followed the Terrorism Act of 2000. But then you had the Prevention of Terrorism Act of 2005, you had the Counter-Terrorism Act of 2008, Justice and Security Act of 2013, and quite a controversial one, reasonably recently, the UK Counter-Terrorism and Border Security Act in 2019. Now, all these are to do with enhanced surveillance in terms of holding people to try and find out if people are guilty of terrorist attack. And of course, that's the other big change in the last 20 years. There have been around 10 incidents, events, terrorist events, related events, including the largest of all, the 7/7 bombings in London, when more than 50 people died.
OK, Iolo Abdafydd in London, thank you very much.